Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Football Frenzy, the channel that keeps you up to date with the latest football content. We're here. We're here after so many games, so much drama, so much tribulation, controversy. We are finally here. It is the World Cup final, baby. And we couldn't have asked for two better finalists. Of course, the narrative and the script writers would have wanted other finals, such as England v France or Spain v England or France versus Argentina, a repeat of the 2022 final. That would have been amazing as well. This is still a very, very good final, and it's two very good teams. And they obviously are because they've got to this stage. So, I mean, I have slagged off Argentina quite a bit, but I'll have to hold my hands up. They've done well to get here. Of course, they didn't. They had quite an easy route to get here, admittedly, but they've done well to get to the final. And it's going to be an amazing final. I know a lot of people are not fascinated by it, but it is going to be a good game. It's the two top sides in the FIFA rankings, so Spain being second and Argentina being first. And yeah, it is going to be an amazing game. It's Lamine Yamal versus Lionel Messi. The storyline is already there. Is it the passing of the torch, or is the torch going to remain with Lionel Messi? We'll have to see, but it is going to be an amazing final. And yeah, this match was actually meant to take place earlier this year. The Flamenza match, I think that's what it was called, the Flamenza match that was meant to take place earlier this year, but with the war and the politics going on, it wasn't able to take place. But it was written then. I guess it was written for this to be the final. I've got to say, I didn't do a match review of either semi-finals, but yeah, so much drama in the England Argentina game and the Spain v France. Wow, just have to give a round of applause to Spain. What a performance! I did think they were capable of that, and I did think Spain would make the final, but I didn't expect it to be that convincing. Like I did predict in my predictions for it to be a 2-2 draw. I genuinely thought France could breach this Spanish defence, but I was wrong. I was completely wrong. France were really disappointing, but as much as France were disappointing, Spain were amazing, weren't they? They were absolutely due that win against France based on that performance. And Argentina, very good. They dug in against England. I have to say though, we were in control. We were in control of that game, and for whatever reason, I'm not sure of still to this day why Thomas Tuchel decided to completely change the tactics at 1-0 up and sit us back so deep. It was just so strange to see because we were in control of the game. I genuinely thought that when Anthony scored that goal at the 55th minute, there was no reason for us to sit back. I know Argentina were bringing attacking players on, but I genuinely think in my head, if we stuck to the same plan, stuck to the same gameplay, that Argentina could have possibly scored. That would have been possible, but I genuinely do think with the options we had on the bench, the likes of Rashford, Saka, you look at Ivan Toney as well, who came off the last 2 minutes after Argentina scored the second goal. These players could have made a difference and we could have got another goal and edged out the win 2-1. But it is what it is. We got knocked out. We played the tactics that we did and Argentina ground out, and you have to give them credit. Enzo Fernandez's goal was class, the first goal. And Lautaro Martinez as well. That cross by Messi, off on his weak foot as well. He did got 2 assists that game. And for me, at the moment, it is a carry job. Messi is carrying this Argentina team for me. That's not to disrespect the other players that they've got there. They have got some good players, which we'll go into shortly. I'm going to go through the predicted lineups and a full preview of the final as well. But I do think if Argentina go ahead and win this World Cup, it is going to be remembered as the Messi tournament, much like the 2022 one. But I feel like this is more amazing than the 2022 one because I don't even think that this Argentina team that we're seeing now, is that great. Um, I do feel like Messi has carried this team even more than 2022. I completely think that. So if Argentina win it, then Messi certainly deserves the Golden Ball and possibly even the Ballon d'Or because I've not seen a carry job like this for a long time for one tournament. So, but yeah, we'll get into the final now. I will show you what I think is going to be the lineup. So I think the Spain team, as you can see here, it kind of speaks for itself. I don't think there's going to be much change from the Spanish side. I do think it will be Unai Simon in goal. He was very good actually against Spain. He was kind of like the sweeper at times. No, sorry, he was very good against France. He was kind of like the sweeper at times. They were playing with a high press, Spain were, but Unai Simon at times did really good clearances and Yeah, it was a really good performance from Unai Simon. Cucurella as well, excellent for me, best left back in the tournament in my opinion. Laporte's been absolutely brilliant as well. Kobasi as well. His distribution from the back is amazing, excellent, best I've seen. And Pedro Porro, of course, got the second goal for Spain that won the game. Rodri, wow, I just have to do a round of applause for him. He has been amazing. For me, personally, I do think if Spain go ahead and win this whole tournament, win the World Cup, for me, Rodri wins the Golden Ball. But I do hear it. I do hear it. Even if Argentina were to lose the final, if they were to give it to Messi, I wouldn't complain too much because Messi has been amazing, and the fact that Argentina have got this far just shows you how amazing Messi has been. But Fabio Ruiz, wow, he's been amazing as well. He has been absolutely amazing. Pedri's been a bit hot and cold, but Ruiz, I definitely do think he will start the final, in my opinion. He just adds some more physicality to the midfield, and I think they will need that physicality against the Argentina team who are going to be quite aggressive against this Spanish team. We know the Spanish like to keep the ball, so I do think Ruiz will start this game. Baena, I have to say, you know what? Last game, although attacking wise, he's been pretty poor in my opinion, from an attacking sense. Defensively, you see the work this guy puts in, and yeah, you just have to credit it. Against France, I saw him tracking back a lot, tracking back when he was playing down. Obviously, Elise would be going down that side as well as Dembele. He was tracking back a lot. So, as much as he doesn't have the quality at times, he does make up for it with his work rate. And this is why this Spanish side have got so far because they work really hard for each other. Dani Olmo, I'll definitely expect him to start. He's been brilliant this whole tournament. I'm a big fan of this guy, I really am. And he's even got me thinking if Arsenal can have a punt at him, but I don't see it personally. Of course, it looks like Morgan Rogers and Bradley Barcola are our two main targets. I think Morgan Rogers more so. But honestly, if Arteta was to go for him, I wouldn't complain at all. He's been amazing this tournament. Lamine Yamal, there are questions whether he's going to be fit enough actually, looking at the pictures, but I think given how big the game is and how much he'd want to play this game, I do think Lamine Yamal will start. I have to say though, if he's not fit enough or he doesn't start, then it's a big advantage for Argentina. Definitely is a big advantage. I think Yamal's that kind of player that gives the Spanish attack something else. It adds that little bit of sauce to the creme. You know, the Spanish have got brilliant technical players. They've got players that can pass the ball. They've got players that can move into good positions. But I think Lamine Yamal is so unique in the sense that he can provide that dribbling, provide that that little spark at times when it's really needed in a game. He can take two players with him, two defenders on his own, and that creates space for the other Spanish players to move into attacking sense. So yeah, I think Yamal is going to be key this game if he is fit to play. Oyarzabal, I do expect him to start as well. What a penalty for the first goal. Why can't penalties be like that here? Like, just put your laces through it. None of this stuttering and pausing like we saw Bruno G do against Norway. Just put your laces through it. That's the most best thing. So I do think the Spanish side will remain the same as the semi-final. I'll be very surprised if there's any changes. There is argument to say Nico Williams could be back in, but I don't think he's played enough minutes for him to start. And I think Baena as well. You saw the last game, even though he doesn't have the quality, he does work very hard off the ball. So I do think Luis de la Fuente will go for that lineup. And if you go through the whole tournament, Spain have just been so solid, haven't they? They've only conceded one goal all tournament. They kept a clean sheet against Portugal. They kept a clean sheet against, well, France, which who we all predicted to win the whole competition. Well, I didn't personally, but a lot of the narrative was that France are the strongest team and are going to win this whole competition. But I did have a thing in my head. I did have a thinking in my head that if the midfield control the game against France, then France could face some issues, and that's what happened really. Rodri, Ruiz, Olmo. If you let these guys play and do their thing, then it's going to be a long game, and it was certainly for France, and that's why Spain won the game. So they deserved finalists for sure. When you look at the teams that they played, the performances as well. So you just have to credit it. But Argentina, one thing I will say about Argentina, I've got to say I have to hold my hands up. I did say as well a lot of the time that I don't think Argentina can win this World Cup. They're not good enough. But you have to. I think one thing that I have to give credit to Argentina for, they seem to have a resilience and mentality. They just don't know when they're beaten. So you've seen it in the last two. Well, in the last three games, with the exception of Switzerland, they were 1-0 ahead against Switzerland actually. But obviously against Egypt, they were 2-0 down. And against England, they were 1-0 down. There seems to be that resilience. They don't know when they're beaten. And there's always a resilience for them to come back into the game. They believe they can win every game. And that's what's getting them through, in my opinion, as well as Messi, of course. Messi's the main guy. But yeah, Argentina, I think the one thing with them, why they've got to the final, is just their mentality and their resilience. They're defending champions, and they are defending champions for a reason. We're seeing it right now. Um, but I felt like the last game against England, especially when they 1-0 down, when they were 1-0 down, you could see the likes of Messi, Paredes, Fernandez, they weren't giving up. They were pushing, 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 probing, and they got their just rewards in the end. In my opinion, they completely deserved the win. After we went 1-0 up, they completely deserved the win. You could tell Argentina were going all out for the win. Thought Romero Martinez played very well in that game as well. They were both on yellow cards, which I still think to myself we could have done more to trouble them, but they played very well as well as Paredes. Thought Paredes had a very good game. Be interested to see if they put Nico Gonzalez in for this game because I thought he played very very well when he came on as a sub. DePaul, I think that one's wrong there because they put Simeone on last game. So I'll be interested to see if they start with DePaul or Simeone. I like to think they probably will start with Simeone. It just gives them something different, and I don't think DePaul's been amazing this tournament, so it wouldn't surprise me to see if Simeone's on that right hand side. And then obviously got Messi and Alvarez. I do think Messi and Alvarez will start this game given the quality that they have. Of course, Messi's going to start. Don't know what I'm saying. Messi will definitely start. But Alvarez has been a bit on off this tournament. But I think since his goal against Switzerland, we're seeing more of what Alvarez is like. Enzo Fernandez, brilliant. What a goal against England. So yeah, McAllister, they've got a solid midfield. I say Spanish for me, the Spanish midfield is the best, but Argentina's midfield is up there. You know, you've got Paredes, you've got McAllister, Premier League winner, Enzo Fernandez as well, who has that quality as we saw against us. So it's going to be an interesting game. It's two contrasting styles, two very completely different styles. Spain like to keep the ball, have possession, really control the game. I think the biggest difference between us being England and Spain is when Spain go 1-0 up, they won't sit back. They'll just keep playing their football. You saw that against France. They just kept passing and moving, passing and moving, passing and moving, attacking, trying to get that second goal, which basically killed the game. So if Spain were to go 1-0 ahead, I think it may be well, I say that, but then Argentina have shown great resilience this tournament. But I think the Spain side are so different in the sense that when they go 1-0 ahead, it's very hard to get the ball off them, and your confidence kind of saps because they have so much possession, so much control of the game when they're 1-0 up. I do think if Argentina are to win this tournament or win this cup or win this final, whatever you want to call it, um, I do feel like they need to go 1-0 ahead. I think if they go 1-0 down, it will be tough, in my opinion. That's just the way I see it. Even though they've shown great mentality this tournament, the Spanish side are a different beast. Um, so you'll be interested to see in terms of Argentina's route to the final. Of course, they've had some thrilling games, haven't they? That game against Cape Verde where they won 3-2. Go back to the very first game, Messi getting a hat trick against Algeria. And against Switzerland, Messi wasn't as effective that game, but you saw the other players step up like Julian Alvarez, the likes of Romero as well. Romero stepped up against Egypt when they were 2-0 down. Messi, of course, provided that magnificent volley against Egypt to make it 2-2. And then they got the winner through Enzo Fernandez. Against England as well. Like I said, from an England perspective, I felt like we had quite good control of the game up until the 55th minute. But then for some reason, the manager decided to sit back and go very, very defensive, which I felt like was a mistake reflecting back on it. But Argentina did well. They had to put the work in. They had to break that low block, and they did it very, very well. So I do feel like this game's going to be a complete contrast. So I can see Argentina be more aggressive, trying to really disrupt the Spanish style of play, try to really disrupt their pass and move game. I can also see Argentina as well being a bit more defensive this game. Because I do feel like one thing I've noticed with Spain, when they face a low block, sometimes it is a bit more difficult for them to break down and score the goals that are needed. When in those kind of games, like for example, against Portugal, against Belgium as well, Belgium sat with a really, really low block. It's just been someone like Marino that's come up and stepped to the plate. So I've got a feeling there's not going to be that many goals this game. In fact, I do feel like it might be quite a dull final compared to the 2022 one. 2022 one was amazing, probably the best final I've ever seen. But I've got a feeling there isn't going to be that many goals this game. And I've got two predictions in my head actually, and it just depends. It depends on the fitness of Lamine Yamal for me. Is he going to start this game? Because there has been pictures of him sitting out training. De La Fuente has admittedly come out in his press conference and said he's okay, but you just never know with these things. I think if Lamine Yamal starts and he's at least 70 to 80% fit, I think Spain win this game. I do think Spain win this game. I do think it'll be a 2-1 though, and it may even go to extra time. Um, but yeah, but I think if Lamine Yamal's not fit, and we see that during the game as well, even if he starts, he looks about 20 to 30% fit. Argentina may have some joy. They may have some joy this game. I can see them really sitting back, frustrating Spain, frustrating them by being quite aggressive as well. They've got a really dogged, aggressive midfield. The likes of Paredes, Fernandez, McAllister. They can really put the work in. De Paul even as well, if he's to come off the bench. Nico Gonzalez. You look at their centre backs as well. Very rugged, dogged style, aggressive defending. So yeah, it's going to be two really good teams competing against each other. I think if Lamine Yamal's not is about 20 to 30% fit, I can honestly see this being a 0-0 and maybe Argentina nicking it 1-0 at extra time. I really, really do. I can see that happening if Lamine Yamal is not as fit. The reason why I say this is because I feel like Yamal is one of those players in attack that provides something different. He basically takes 2 to 3 players with him, and that allows space for the other Spanish attackers to do what they need to do. The likes of Marino when he comes off the bench, the likes of Oyarzabal to have that space between the centre backs. Olmo as well has the freedom to kind of dictate the play because Yamal's able to take 2 to 3 players with him. I do think if he's fit, or if he's like 70 80% fit, then Tagliafico is going to have a tough time. He's going to need that support from the likes of McAllister or Nico Gonzalez or someone else. Because Yamal, I think, is that good. But on the other side, obviously, you've got Lionel Messi, who's arguably still the best player in the world. He's showing it right now. 39 years old, and what he's doing is absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, I feel like if Yamal isn't fit, and obviously you've got Messi, anything can happen when you have Messi because he's that good. Um, so I've got two predictions in my head. I do think Yamal will be fit though. How fit he's going to be, that's a question, obviously. But my final prediction is going to be 2-1. I do think Spain will win the World Cup and it will go after extra time because I do feel like Yamal will play this game. Even though he may not play the full game, I can see a situation where he may not play the full game. But we've seen with Spain as well, they've got such a good squad. They've got the likes of Nico Williams on the bench. They've got Mikel Merino as well. Um, Zubamendi, who plays for Arsenal, hasn't got a single minute so far. So you just look at this Spanish squad and you think how strong it is. Conversely, on the other side as well, Argentina have got some good players off the bench. We haven't seen Nico Paz that much, who plays for Como on loan for Real Madrid. Nico Gonzalez as well, as already said. Simeone as well, who just really played his first game, his first start against England. So it's two really good teams, two good squads compete against each other. But my final prediction for this game and this magnificent tournament that we've had is Spain to win 2-1 after extra time. And yes, Spain will win the World Cup. I don't think the Spanish side, by the way, is as good as the 2010 one, but yeah, I really do think the Spain team is really, really good. Defensively, they've been amazing this tournament. So yeah, 2-1 Spain. Please hit that like button. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're on 37 subscribers. Please can we get to that 50 mark? We want to get to the channel to 50 subscribers. So your support is really appreciated. If you can subscribe to the channel, like the video as well, hype the channel for us, that would be amazing. Please stay tuned for more content. Of course, the World Cup is ending, but the content is not ending for sure. There will be some Premier League content coming up, some more so some Arsenal content, transfer content as well, and of course we're only under a month away till the Premier League season starts. So yes, some more great videos coming up. But thank you guys. I'm out. Peace.